Hi, I'm Malcolm Cecil. I'm the instructor for BCST 100, Intro to Electronic Media. I just wanted to introduce myself and show you around the class a little bit. So I've been teaching at City College since 2008, and I come from Canada, where I worked for about 10 years in the Canadian broadcasting industry as a freelancer. And then I moved to the Bay Area to go to Berkeley, and I pretty soon got a job at San Francisco State University lecturing in the Becca department. And then I discovered City College and this great department in broadcasting and fell in love with it. And so I've been working here for quite a while now. So I'm one of the designers of BCST 100. I've taught it quite a bit. Electronic media has changed over the years so much, and it's a very interesting topic of study. I've always loved film and television. I've tried to work in it as a director and producer. I have spent my life teaching different techniques, and so I'm a real enthusiastic media consumer and a sometimes media producer. And I definitely watch the industry very carefully, especially nowadays with the industry being impacted by COVID-19 and all the difficulties and all the consolidation that's going to happen, and streaming services starting up, competing with broadcasters. There's just a lot of interesting stuff going on in media. Not to mention, we have a political campaign coming up with a highly controversial use of social media going on. So some very interesting things to learn about and discuss in this year's class. Well, let me share my screen with you and we can look at the class a little bit. And so here's our homepage, and hopefully you were able to navigate here through Canvas. Canvas is our learning management software. I wanted to show you that up here there will be announcements being posted every week. I'll put up a video with a quick introduction to what we're going to be doing during the week. Over here on the side, you will see assignments that are coming up. Over on the left, there are links out to various different features of the course. You won't see as many as me because I'm in instructor view right now. Let me switch to student view so it'll look more like what you see. And so you'll be able to look at my announcements, take a look at the syllabus, the modules. ConferZoom is an important place to make appointments to talk to me through office hours. Of course, the gradebook, link out to the library where I believe you'll find a copy of our textbook is available to you there electronically, I hope. Let me know how that goes. And of course, down here, there are other important functions for all your Canvas classes, especially this one, the inbox, which is the best way to get in touch with me once the course is on. So that's email done by Canvas. And we want to keep our communication in there as much as possible. I commit to responding within 48 hours of your communication, except over the weekend and of course on holidays. And let's jump into the class and let me just show you a bit about how it's organized. So like many online classes, this is on a weekly schedule. There are these things called modules. And we can see here we have the course overview module, and we have a couple of extras. And then we get into the weekly modules. So each week at 7 a.m. on Monday, a module will open, and it will be open until the Sunday of that week at 11 p.m., okay? Each module will contain stuff like an overview, guidelines, a discussion, a quiz, and other stuff. And again, let me leave the student view so you can see things that are coming up on the horizon. So here, week 2 is a great example of a module. There's an overview page. I give you PowerPoints. There's some stuff to look at usually. There's a quiz and a discussion. All right, so here's an important point, which is not the same as every other Zoom class. I really count on you guys to read or watch this stuff. And so as you notice, every item in the module has a little directive underneath. You need to view the PowerPoints, you need to view the video, and so on and so forth. And as you do that, you're gonna get little completion marks checking off here, all right? Here's the quiz for that week, for instance. This quiz will not open up until all the little check boxes have been checked off over here. So that means that you have to read everything and participate in the discussion before you get a chance to do the quiz, okay? So that is an important thing to know. And of course, it's all explained up here in the various items in the overview and administration module, which is what is available to you this week. There's also guidelines for the research papers. So in this class, the work, which we can see in the syllabus if we want to jump around there, is largely, there's a weekly discussion, excuse me, a weekly quiz, there's a midterm exam and a final exam, and there are 2 research papers. Where are the point values of all these things? They're in there somewhere. So there are 2 research papers which are described down here in research papers. In fact, I give you the prompts already. So check those out. One's due October 4th, one's due November 22nd. So it's not coming up right away, but relatively soon. And they involve picking a topic to write about, doing some research in the textbook and in online resources, and then writing a 3 to 4 page essay, pulling all that stuff together. Now, another important point is, as I noted, the 4 main assignments in the class are there 2 research papers, the midterm exam, and the final exam, okay? You can't pass the class unless you do all of those. So if you leave out a research paper, you're not going to be able to open up the final exam. You really have to be able to do both research papers, the midterm, and that will give you access to the final. Okay, so that's just a heads up. Of course, I'll be reminding you of that, throughout the semester as things become due, etc. So just remember that that you do have to get to those research essays and the midterm and the final in order to pass the class. Other than that, we'll leave it up to you to check out the various important points that you can find in the overview or in the syllabus. Okay, and I'll stop sharing right now and just wish you a great class. It's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be quite a hot election campaign, I expect. We're going to see the electronic media industries under a great deal of stress due to things like social distancing, which is going to make it impossible to shoot new material, for instance. So there's a lot of people writing scripts. There's animated films still being made, but not a whole lot in the face-to-face production area. On social media, there is rumblings in Congress about how Facebook and other social media giants should be perhaps broken up, or TikTok is sort of being forced to be sold right now because of the China connection. So, I mean, these are all highly political, very important things going on. So, yes, we're going to be looking at electronic media. We're going to be looking at the history of it. We're going to be looking at the technology. We're going to be looking at programming, how different media are, programmed out in order to capture target audiences. We're going to be looking at ratings, how those audiences are studied and understood. We're going to look at research into the social effects and impacts of things like media violence, or there's a lot of stuff in there. And so it's an interesting set of subjects to learn about, I hope. Okay, so please read the stuff carefully, get the textbook. You need the textbook in order to read the chapters so that you can be knowledgeable in your discussions and get the right answers on the quiz. And remember, there are PowerPoints to help you. So that's your first step. Get the textbook, look over the course, and get in touch with me if you have further questions through email. I will sort out the Zoom situation, and we're on our way. Have a great semester. And as I said, I'll be posting a video every week. If this one didn't tire you out, there's more to come. All right, take care. Cheers.